Yep. So welcome back again. So we discussed like supply chain management. Hi Sriram. So we were discussing supply chain management. We discussed it, not the entire supply chain management. I'm sure you are having other courses which cover supply chain management. What we really covered is what is the impact of it, and what are the moral principle, unethical supplier conducts, and other stuff. So the course, so we only consider a subset of managed in managed sustainability. We don't cover the entire. And of course, managed sustainability is the most important aspect of your supply chain, because this course actually covers whether your product is good for people or bad for people. Like, maybe banana is good for people, but because they're eating your banana, they're getting cancer, or they're getting diseases, or they're dying faster. So that is the factor where managing sustainability, or maybe your suppliers are working in wrong order, maybe your employees are working. So let's continue that discussion, and we will discuss more upon packaging, because packaging is also another big carbon footprint, and what we can do to reduce it, and what are the issue. Because one thing is about knowing the issue so that you can fix the issue also. Right. So let's see here. Okay, we can do it. So hi thumbnail. Can you hear me? Okay, so that. So from the video. Okay, so let's go here. Right, packaging is key. So another important aspect is packaging could have embodied carbon, CO2 emissions, a lot of other aspect. Dangerous for health, like maybe it's pretty dangerous, like maybe the Coke, which is packed in aluminum cans. We know that aluminums are not good for cooking. Maybe we don't know. So some cases we don't know it is very bad for health. It could be bad for health. So basically we need to treat anything we don't know as bad for health, because we have seen in industry that tobacco was very bad for health, but only, and they of course suppress the information for because they have a lot of money, they can suppress the information for 40-50 years. So if we use a new kind of packaging, it has to be tested thoroughly, and make sure that it doesn't have any toxic element or not, because every element reacts. So just because it is safe for one product like juice, will it be safe? Because the chemical composition of every juice, every item is different, and the interaction could be different. So one is from health safety, because if we don't know, there's no research study, we have to consider it as bad. And of course, the industry doesn't follow that status, because they, of course, so especially for like light drinker, the purpose is to sell the product, doesn't matter. Anyway, the drink itself causes bad health. So if it causes even more bad health, who cares about that, right? That's the attitude. But today we are going to discuss, like, can we use paper or cardboard, right? Instead of using metal or plastic, can we use paper packaging, and especially when we are using cardboard, there's another aspect, like, can we use paper tape, not plastic tape? Because you could use a cardboard, which could be fully recyclable, but if you mix plastic with it, it's not really fully recyclable anymore, and it of course mix microplastic in it. So that's what you have to, like, it's even a small thing, right? Everything has to be considered, like, is it a reuse, completely replacement product? Because we can plant as many trees we want. Planting trees costs nothing almost, so tree can give you a lot of food, and it also capture a lot of stuff. So it's okay to use tree reusable or replacement resources. Of course, if you're planting the tree, somebody will just cut the tree and not do, then of course it doesn't. But again, from personal perspective, yes, trees could be planted, right? And if your vendors are not doing it, you could do it on their behalf. You can know what vendor does. And another aspect is physical asset, like an energy uses, right? Does it use energy, right? So you could actually replace it again by sponsoring solar panels or wind turbines. You can reduce your cost of production, or you can just offset it. We already discussed this mode selection and transmit size, like how do we transmit it? We already discussed quite in length on that topic. So If you're using intermodal train on long haul route, intermodal can reduce supply chain cost by 15 to 25%. Again, if you're emitting CO2 less, it also means less cost also. So typically when you are reducing CO2 impact, so another reason why you want to reduce your footprint is because it costs less. So truck releases more CO2. We already saw that. But truck also costs more. That's the reason. Because if it is burning more fossil fuel, that means they will charge you more as well. So if you are using more efficient like C, it costs you less as well. In fact, I was doing one research, when from Mandsaur to UK, and from Gujarat port to UK port, it was only costing me 50 rupees per kilo. But to get it from, I think, no, even less than that, 5 or less than that. And just to get a local transport from truck was costing 2 or 3 times more, whereas transmitting 4,000 kilometers was costing less. And that's what, if it costs less, if you are considering, if you're doing more research, you will also reduce your cost of production as well. Supply. And of course, you have to work with supplier, how they do what they do, because it's not proper measurement and goal setting. So you also have to measure it, because you have to show the cost saving, show the CO2 saving. So you have to track it. And again, we have to do is by packaging size and weight. And you can also crack down on the emission, who is emitting what, and maybe, hey, replace this vehicle because this one is releasing more. And again, sometimes there is a cost of, does the equipment should be replaced because it's consuming more energy. So that's another way of, if you are pretty efficient in replacing equipment, there's again a cost, right? There's a production cost of equipment as well as a replacement cost, running cost. So it does the running cost now outweigh the production cost? And again, equipment costs are falling drastically. Like we have all seen that, because computing powers are increasing drastically. That means likely a new computer will cost a lot cheaper than your old guzzling. So the same equipment could be available for a lot cheaper and a lot efficient now than the old. So that's the research you have to do, keeping the cost down. So it's all about keeping the cost down, right? And apart from reducing CO2. And again, there will be, as I said, like many countries are already introducing taxes, and India is also considering giving credit. There is environmental regulation already in place. Like if you are actually polluting the environment, you may be fined or your business may be shut down even. So there's a technology to track it. IoT technology to supply chain include asset tracking, inventory management, fleet management, essential to end-to-end with. So now you can actually see when, where, and how your product moved. Even though it is done by another party, you can still track it entire flow, your product. You could use AI to predict it. Like you could have data for say 20% of the flow, but not the 80%, but the 80% you can estimate it. So you could use all this modern technology to estimate a better estimate. Like AI or subset machine learning can be used to increase areas of distance support, obsolete inventory management. So a lot of decisions are taken. So these can be done automatically. The AI can even find you the best route to do and the least cost as well. So you can use efficient way to reduce cost. You could use blockchain technology as well. So you could use blockchain to allow firms to use data more traceable and transparent supply chain, and acting as good solution to prevent counterfeiting. So you can know that your product is product. Yeah. So it's, if you are buying a Nike or reselling a retailer of Nike, you can be assured that it's not a duplicate Nike shoe. You can automate robotics and automation because they're more efficient than humans. All right. So, and of course, it will reduce your cost as well. So you can consider automating a lot of the process. And again, with, as I talked about, Moore's law, right? Computing power doubles every 2 years. So, and it is happening for last 40 years. That means now there's computers available for even 500 rupees, or 5 pound, 10 pounds. So the prices of computing and robotics are dropping so sharply that you can't even imagine. So basically, it can help you with supply chain and reducing, streamline and reduce human error. So basically, when you're replacing human with, so basically you are avoiding mistakes. And of course, it's improving speed. It can doing a lot more. So your machines are running less time. You can do autonomous trucking as well. Again, same thing, provided law allowed, but this is coming there. There's a driverless truck technology which help elevate driver shortage. Basically, even in India, we face tractor shortage. So these is another things which are coming, especially if you're using internal within your, these can be deployed. You don't need any permission for your internal private property. And again, so once you replace with rival, you can also replace with one which runs with solar panel as well. So it says it cannot eliminate use of truck drivers completely, but it could drastically. So resource, material processing, product manufacturing, distribution, use, and end of life. So these are all the things we have to consider when you are tracking about end-to-end supply management. You have to optimize your product, every item, like material, where it is coming, is it recyclable, can it be reproduced, so that's, so can we replace metal packing with wood packing or something like that, manufacture, how does it, so every aspect of it you have to use, think about material, manufacture, distribution, use, and then end of life you could reuse. Like many people like which uses jeans, another company, they started reusing the water, and that reduced the cost again. So not only they reduce the uses of water, but they actually reduce the cost of input cost. Of course, I already talked about damage to human health, the damage to ecosystem, resource duplication. Like you cannot assume that, many companies in European went bankrupt because they depended heavily on energy. And instead of investing on renewable energy, they continue to depend on other people. And suddenly there was energy spike. Just one thing, thousands of companies went back because they never thought about environment, but that backbited. So if you are what you call self-sufficient, if you're using less, you're more robust. Your company will make more profit, company will survive longer, company can survive problematic area like COVID and other, because you're using less, you're making your own stuff, you're not depending on other people. Of course, there's other thing, photochemical oxygen, particular. So a lot of problem with all these things, water depletion, mineral depletion. So there is huge impact to your health as well as your ecology, as well as your other people, as well as your consumer, So you can see people are now buying, like, which is the least impact. So this product, yeah, it cost me 90 rupees, but it gives me cancer. But this guy cost me a little more, but it doesn't give me cancer. Which product do you think people will see? So people are now considering the impact of their health before buying the decision. Not everybody does it, but many people are doing. At least big companies will do that. Like, hey, if your supply chain, or if you're supplying to another party, the party will see your resource CO2, and if you're more intense, they'll say, hey, I will not buy it from you because I may get penalized because of you. And again, the other things too is toxic. Is this product more toxic? Like, hey, the one you're giving dirt cheap is very toxic to your human health. Like it cannot be even sold in Europe, Western market or free market. It could be sold in China and India and other stuff country, but it cannot be even sold. So this is more toxic to India. And again, even India is coming up pretty much rising very rapidly, and the standards are right. They are pretty much getting a lot more like you can't sell toxic. Get away with selling toxic, because suddenly you problem with these is like you may be selling toxic product and suddenly you may get caught up, and if you get caught up, you're basically risking your company, entire company. Your company could be shut down completely. So it's even more dangerous in India kind of scenario. Even though there's no regulation, right, there could be a public outcry, and suddenly your company goes, just because of that outcry, your company can go bankrupt. So that is important, that you have to be good to environment and good to people always. Like you should not be thinking that, hey, I'm getting by, I will not be caught. It should not assume that fact, because that one bad thing you're doing could be your reason of your downfall in future. So you should not do bad things. That's the whole point of businesses, like sustainable business. Like not only you have to have a sustainable world, you need to have a sustainable business. And sustainable business is doing business in a right way and ethical way. And again, you have to do entire life cycle management, right? So from potash, we say like, material extraction to processing, can we recycle it? Component fabrication, can we remanufacture it? Assembly, can we reuse it? Packaging, can we reuse? Even the packaging can be reused. Use and end of use, waste treatment. So this is the entire thing you have to consider when you are talking about your. So benefit of LCA: green product marketing, decision meeting customer demands, environmental footprint, hotspot analysis, third party values. So these are the plus point you will get getting more customers, getting more profit and other stuff. There are other so everything you have to do, energy, material, and water. So these are the thing, resources and emission you have to consider, and you have to consider the environmental impact, human health, ecosystem, and resources. Every aspect, not only just one material extraction, but entire aspect of it. So you can do there are many kind of thing. You can do comprehensive, everything, like many company can afford that, or you could do targeted, like in a small one life cycle, one impact. You can do stream like you could do like 20% saving, 20% extra profit this year. 20, because if you try to buy it bigger, like, hey, yeah, this will give you more profit, more customer, but can you buy that bigger? Like, how big a bite can you do? So that's what you have to see as a customer, like without impacting your. So you could do comprehensive, you can do streamline, you can do targeted. Yeah, and you can do slowly. Gradual is the best way, because that way you're learning and you're improving your processes as well. You have to consider cost of environmental impact and alternative challenges, quantify cost of environmental impact on snow and ice. So these are some of the things which company have done, right? So there was a snow and ice management removal process by 7 Sagas area grosser. So this is what he did. Like they were doing normalized cumulative energy demand and global warming potential. So they were started with 100% and they gradually reduced it to almost 30%. They streamline the LCA, focus on mass of salt and global warming potential, increase client base. And again, what they saw that increased client base, focus company data collection, hotspot analysis. And so they did it gradually, and also they could see the impact as well. And another example, quantify environmental and economic life cycle impact of distribution and material reclamation scenarios of fiber drums. So basically, this is a company who sells fiber drums. So what they do, they targeted LCA with scenario analysis, landfill, reuse, recycled into drums, and recycled externally. Impact, supported internal decision making, hotspot analysis help company to focus on high impact area. So basically, fiber drum, fiber customer, end customer. So they did. So basically, you have to start this challenge in your organization, what you can start doing and how you can start improving the bottom line. Like understand the process of contribution to impact, like material assembly. And this, once you start having this chart, you will know that, hey, maybe this is the material is the first thing we want to target. Maybe carcinogenic, right? Environmental impact. Maybe we have to remove the fossil fuel, because today fossil fuels is there's no other many people use it, but it has a huge impact on health and as well as economic, environmental. So another company, validating product design to increase energy efficiency. Challenge, quantify the impact of an air conditioning coil coating design to increase energy efficiency. Sustainable, what they did, sustainable material assessment of the coating, streamline LCA, often absorption, chiller, and electricity for 20 years of operation, development of a life cycle energy use and cost tool model, improved data collection method, tool can be used to focus area. So basically, they come up with a challenge and they try to solve it. Like you can have a brainstorming solution and try to solve this problem within your, or again, challenge, another challenge, understand the environmental impact of disposable floor mat, so that you can do that of a reusable mat. So whether you want to make a disposable mat or you want to make a reusable mat. Comprehensive comparative assertion LCA, impacted, expanded client customer base and market share by validating and supporting the environmental claims. Because you could even involve customers, you could even publish your result, you could even go to educate and assist customer in making more informed changes. So now, instead, not only they are selling disposable foam mat, they also started selling reusable mat, and they're getting more customers. So not only you're expanding your market base by going to a better product. So, or if you don't do anything, probably there could be a competitor who comes and does that. So do you want to happen and go bankrupt, or eventually your company loses the market, or you want to start doing it yourself, right? So instead of, it's a gradual move to a better product. Again, this is Staple. This is an office supply company. Valid challenge: compare the impact of new and remanufactured toner cartridges. So basically, Staple ink. This is about talking about toner ink cartridges like printer ink. So, do you want to remanufacture the toner, or do you want to make it from fresh? Remanufacturing was shown to provide significant life cycle environmental benefit when compared to new manufacturers, because you are recycling it now. Major benefit realized through part material and process recovery, highlighted the importance of functional. And of course, there are a lot of other benefit. You're reducing landfill, you're reducing CO2, and there's a lot. And you can see the comparative chart as well here, right? So what are the improvements they could see? And you can see there's a drastic improvement now. Like instead of 100%, now they are down to 45.6%. Yeah. So now, of course, now they are you can boast about it, right? So this is not only about saving cost and saving environment. Now you can actually use this as a new marketing technique to reach more climate savvy customers, right? And of course, 80% of the customers are now aware of climate change. And you can get a customer involved as well in these things, because when you're talking about recycling, customers are getting involved in it, right? Using waste glass to offset cement in concrete. So this is another example of another different. I'm giving you many examples across industry so that you can see that these improvements can be carried in any industries, basically. And then again, you have to do a small thing, like quantify and qualify the environmental effect replacing cement with post-consumer glass, comprehensive LCA, and potential expanded customer base, informed state and national glass recycling policy, reduced landfill volume, more efficient building materials. Then you can see the impact as well. What is happening, energy got reduced, ozone depletion got reduced, smog got reduced drastically, and you can see this is so much improvement here. And again, there could be complex cases as well, right? This is about a complex product, very complex product. It's a blood pressure cuffs, right? So which we measure blood. So they have to see entire chain, where the product comes from, where it is going, and how does it go. So they did the same for Welch Allyn. I can see this case study. I can search for keyword Welch Allyn and do a Google search on that. Credible marketing claims to lead to increased customer base and help put focus on manufacturing and supply chain, highest impact parts, and design team better understood instill life cycle. So this is one of the health product, and especially customers who are already sick, they know that, hey, these companies who actually made me sick, like these customers are more aware, like, hey, they will not accept the fact that, hey, they will not allow you to make them more sick. And these customers, because they already fallen victim to your corporate greed, right? So these customers will be more aware to take a better product from you, because then, hey, I got diabetes because of these consuming bad product. Let me at least get now buy bigger products so that I can reverse diabetes or something, do something about it. Like obviously worsening the situation is certainly not going to help you. So basically, you have to, there's a social impact, there's economic impact, there's a governance, and there's environment. You have to cover from every aspect and every industry, basically. So you have to start, like say you have a cafeteria or something, you're running canteen, better to have reusable forks and other stuff. And again, with automation, cleaning is pretty dirt cheap. There are it could be just be dumped in a of course the cleaning devices is already there, but again the costs are coming down drastically. Are we used? So there are a lot of questions to ask. I can have inline session, brain bronze. Is this resource just sitting on the shelf? Is it sustainable to stock item? Do teams know how it's on the shelf? And are they still buying new? Do we need this? So there are other things like, do we need to keep these guys? So there's a lot of things you have to do. Does this help or harm my local community? Does it create local job? Who makes it? What are the working conditions of the people involved? What is the social impact? There are a lot of questions to ask. Will I need to repair over time? Governance, environmental, and there's a overlap also. Will this product last? Are cost of repair reasonable? Is it durable? Will it need to be replaced and when? Is this a short-term or long-term product? Compare product across the full life cycle. Compare apples to apple. You have to compare apple to apple and the function that each service provides. So when you're evaluating product, you have to compare similar kind of thing. You can't compare dissimilar kind of thing. Product life, use all resources, every purchase, positive outcome, community, planet. So these are the things you have to keep in mind. Safe working condition, of course, maximum working hours, frequent compulsory break, minimum wages, pollution prevention, environmental protection laws. So these are the things you have to keep in mind. Locally sourced, local community, local environment, minimizing pollutions. You could use energy label, like sometimes when you're buying product, you can also use, is it efficient, Energy Star Australia. There are many standards on that. Water efficient labeling scheme, Australian made, Indian made, China made. So you can actually choose what it is. Eco specify, FFC, there's a lot of things. And again, there are many things available here, which is again diluting some of the impact, but you could become aware if you, especially you are in procurement. So we are going to consider a big case study, Timberland. Nature needs heroes. Step outside, work together, make it better. Through responsible source, product, and community. We talked about using wood and how does Timberland helps do that. So basically, Timberland makes shoes, right? Recycle plastic and recycle rubbers. We were given the equivalent of 345 million plastic bottles, new life to new food in our food bag. So they reused recycle in our backpacks. We use nearly 500 pounds of recycled rubber in our food bed to stop the collection, of course. And they are also enticing new customers because they are telling good thing, and then obviously they are having a link to buy more products. Tiny action, and of course they're trying to get the people involved as well. So you can actually do your own pledge. So now what we are doing is you are creating a bond with your customers. Now customers think that you are a better product, like this product, like you could buy a shoe from outside and that shoe could basically harm their health, but now they will see a positive association with your product, like, hey, this shoe is made in the right way. Recycle pet rubbers, original Earthkeepers leather boots. This is basically from their site. You can use their site to know about it. I can research that guy. And of course, employee company contribution, you can also add more. We have planted this much tree since 2010. Then we have sent over community hours, silver and gold tanneries. Our goal is to source 100% of our leather from tanneries that use responsible tanning practices. Sustainable cotton, we use 100% organic. So these are the things you can boast about when you're, apart from reducing cost and making a product better for your consumer. And of course, they didn't did it overnight. They did it, so they migration to CASA at 690, a new flow, planning migration to CASA, the Cart and Clean, Project Brazil Direct, Master Data Brazil. So this is a timeline. Again, you can research more about this Timberland case study and know more about it. We had how they did it, provided Melson and after line, final line plan, sales meeting, customer order upload, buy process. So every stage they are trying to understand the process so that they can improve the process. And what they did, new team, different system, economic challenge, import restriction. So these are the challenges they have to do to overcome. Transition of customer service for distributor from EMEA, Timberland's SOP process implementation, use GTM rolling calendar on board new team. So these are the things they came up and did new to improve their processes. First showroom in Brazil, deadline, achieve new, and you can have small achievement and celebrate those achievements. Labeling and logistics shop, new order upload tool for distribution, adaptability and cooperation culture, easier production on hold reduction, anchor brand network, system setup for Brazil, master data ready for first season, less excess inventory generation, inventory cost reduction. So they are targeting in multiple areas. Customer service digital improvement, PMO project follow-up, contrast seasonal analysis, distributors and logistics field readiness, PPA. So these are some of the management principles they improve. Brazil local production development, new supply chain dashboard for TBL, local and global SMS follow-up. So this is some of the people. I can see the offices and other stuff. I'm sure you can find more information online as well. And now they're confident, like, hey, their product is better for you. Their shoes are not going to give you diseases and destroy your environment. Trusted business partner that drives and deliver result. And this is the team who worked on it. And you see, sometimes there's not a big team needed to achieve great wonders. So you could create a wonderful product, lower the cost, be good to other people, be good to your customers. The customers are not only for extracting them money and giving them diseases, but you can actually give them a better product as well. And of course, value chain you have to do. So there's another value chain, like every process we have to see. So they are like sometimes and from they are horizontal and vertical. Firm infrastructure, human resource management, technology development. These are the common thing usually. Inbound logistic operation, outbound logistic, marketing, sales, and these are like usually vertical. So you can actually see value chain on every operation, everything you do. Right, and that way, and this again called Potter value chain, the same thing. It's called different term as well. Create a value chain. The value chain is a set of all activity organizing performs to create a margin. It can help you. So if you start targeting every small chain, you will know that if every unit reduces the cost, better for environment, the end product will be better for environment and a lot less costly. From this, you can invest more or eliminate. You can actually decide also. You can actually analyze it and see whether we want this or we want to do something else. Create your own value chain. Primary activities are source cost of advantage, support activities that source the difference. Advantage steps the value chain, map out sub activities, analyze sub activities, examine the linkage. And sometimes you could, it can help you make even merger decision, like create a TM into complete coverage. So if you're buying acquisition, right, you can say, hey, he's better in these and these, I'm better in these and these. And if I merge them, I will get a better match. So you can even help you in merger decision as well. And you can go in more detail, like you don't have to do everything. I can do technology improvement, like I can do these guys, I can do rapid order dispatch, AWS. So there are a lot of things you can do. This is an example of Amazon, how they achieve. And again, you can see Amazon is not dominating the world because they focused on value chain. Every chain, they try to reduce the cost and maximize and reduce the economic impact, reduce the environmental impact. Allows you to increase your margin, creates a shared understanding how value is created, can be used in multiple. This needs to. So basically, you have to keep revisiting it. Does not consider external factor. You can lose sight of the broader picture because if you're trying small thing, you may lose the entire company objective or something like that. That's what you have to be careful about. That pressure to act is there, so you have to act now. So I think with that we will terminate today's lecture, right? So there's a huge impetus for everybody to act, so average person, you can see that almost 21 no is 34% and 6 is not sure. So basically average, most of the people, and so there is a huge impetus to act, like whether it's industry, everybody in the value chain is now wanting to act. So any question you guys have anymore?
No, from my side.
Okay, and again, I'm going to upload these videos so you can actually pause and see, and especially the case study. I only briefly mentioned some of the case study apart from Timberland. Those other case study you can actually search online and see what they have done and how they have improved. Like I only took like maybe 10 case studies, but they are like, if you go in they're like hundreds and thousands of case studies. Literally every company you operate, they have solved the problem. Like it need not be bad to environment. You can reduce your packaging. So every aspect you can see if you know the entire picture, and then act on it and reduce your footprint, reduce your cost, become a sustainable business, and better. Okay, so have a nice weekend, rest of the weekend. Okay, bye guys.
Yeah, okay, you too. Yeah, bye-bye.
Nice weekend. Yeah, bye.